I have forgotten to pause my music. And I realize I haven't spoken this morning, so my voice is still warming up, but g'day. Welcome everyone. Welcome, Gimme More. I love to see you here, but I am doing it is a Saturday for me. I really don't have much to do on Saturdays. It's kind of my day I can have to myself and chill, so I thought why not just cast a bunch of replays, because I do have a goal this season. Yeah, tired voice is a great voice. It gets just lower and lower the more tired I am. So I'm like, It's great when I'm on phones, but I'm going to try. I have a goal this season, and these weekends are kind of important. I've got to reach, technically I only need to get 122, but I'm going 125 because that's a nice number. I am going to try beat the long-standing record of 121 casts in a season. So that leads me here, casting Banned for Throwing, facing off against ICC TBD. I do not know much about these teams, and also I just remembered it's Infernal Shrine, so I have to do this. Because I really want to see how many games I cast that also have Infernal Shrines in them. Because, God, I think almost every match I've casted contains Infernal Shrines in, like, the last 2 seasons. So I'm going to go, you know what, I'm going to keep track of it this time. So I've got my counter for how many games I've cast. As well as now I've got this to see how many times I've just cast Infernal Shrines in general. Not a specific one, but as I said, we're Banned for Throwing, facing off against ICC TBD. While Banned for Throwing I don't know who Matt picks in these situations, because I like to keep it as a surprise for myself. Just because I don't really want to spoil the series for myself. I like not knowing what is coming up. And this is the best way to do so. So we do have not much idea of what's happening, but we do have a general idea of, yeah, this is happening or this is happening. So, Banned for Throwing versus ICTBD. I don't know who first picked, yada yada. We do know what the bans are, as well as the map we're going to, so that's why Infernal is over there in the corner. In terms of bans, we see Ultrarak Pass and Garden of Terror banned out by Banned for Throwing, and ICC TBD banned out the 2-lane maps, which, God, I love the 2-lane maps, but I know it's not everyone's favorite. But I can see that, what's it called? Battlefield of Eternity and Braxis Holdout are banned out. The 2 B maps starting with B's. Let's go TBD. Is it because they banned out Braxis? I would not be surprised if it was they banned out Braxis, but I'm opening up the Infernal Shrines map now in the background. So I'll jump into that shortly, and I just realized, I hope I have the teams the right way around, just because teams, when they're not casted, have a high chance of just being on the wrong side. Nope, I have them right way around. Good. They make things difficult sometimes, but not today, so let me make sure I don't jump into the wrong scene, because that would be silly, wouldn't it? When would Lime ever do that? Frequently is the answer. Nope, tapped out. Right. We're preparing ourselves for battle, as we do have map number 1 of the series. On the left side of Banned for Throwing, we have Dead On the ETC, Penta Machina on the Vala, John Lotz on the Tyrande, the backflip on Zul, I was like, Creepy Bone Man, Zul, and Shogun Misa on the Zarya. Interesting. On the right hand side we have Valkyrie just chilling in core for a little bit on that Brightwing. We do also have Chauncey on the Hogger, Hippo XXX on the... Is that King Hippo? Oh no. On the Raynor, Sojourn on the Muradin. I saw the hammer, I didn't see the full Muradin. I saw the hammer like, oh yes, Ufa, but no, it's just Muradin. And Cyriliff rounds it out on Jaina. That backflip going for a cheeky little Q, doesn't quite find anyone there, but I do like it every now and again. Good little spraying coming out. And we're just going to clear waves. Wow, look at that. Wow, look at that. There's things going down, buttons being pushed. Shogun Misa's at full energy, which means just those bubbles got so much value already, but they're already a half elf, same as Dead On. Those bubbles, well, you just got full value. It means they are just getting wailed upon, and they're not always in a good position after that wailing has occurred. Which we saw Penta Machina actually nearly went down there. Stun didn't quite find Dead On, but Penta Machina is probably the main target currently. No, they're not. They're just W. Hippo XXX is going to get hit with Root. Sojourn, however, a little bit too deep with the rest of the team. We're just getting a good old ARAM here. No one's bothered to soak bottom. We've all just been mid the whole time. Okay, people did go top, I'll give them that, but no one did come to this bottom lane. As you can see, there's so many globes just sitting around. And dead on, actually lower than I think they would like to be, wanting that globe, greeting a little. Could have greeted to their demise, but no, they're ultimately fine. Brightwing, Valkyrie thinking about going to get that soak, but ended up walking around the safe way to the camp where Hippo XXX is working on things. And to quickly touch on what is stacking currently, we have Tyrande with her E's, we have ETC with his E as well, stacking that Prog Rock, getting that healing up. We also have W Vala, Fire at Will. Dead on slides, very aggressive, however Valkyrie did just phase shift, does get out, will be fine. And that's kind of like the main stacking quests to mention that have been picked up, because otherwise you do have baseline Meriden's Hammer, which just completes at level 10. It's not really a quest, it's more congrats, you didn't lose the game in 9 levels. Good job, kid. As well as we do have Seralith with, well, Jaina's, I should say, Frostbite. That stacks slowly but surely. But right, that will be this camp. Not really getting ran at. It was actually a pretty easy take for ICC TBD. And now we can see, speaking of easy takes, dead on, not quite going to be getting out easily as they do go down. Meanwhile, phase shift coming up onto Hippo. I don't know how I missed that, but we can see Chauncey is starting that top camp now, which good timing. You do want it coming out right as this objective is coming up. Just because this is the furthest distance. Oh, Zarya was there. That's on me. Whoops. My bad. I didn't see what was happening there. But no, you do want this camp out now because it will be pushing top all while this objective's going on, and that is really well timed. Or so you just freeze that wave, you just run down if you're Chauncey. But right, what is happening down bottom? Sojourn is sitting in a bush. A minion got caught wind of where he was. Valkyrie is halving real quick. I think just to quickly tap, it doesn't matter too much what exactly that is for. But either way, they are backing. And we can see that just the wave clear for ICC TBD is just a little bit better. Jaina and Hogger both very good at that, as Hogger is just going to start infinitely spinning. Backflip knowing they can't step in. Has Hogger messed it up? No, they do have it right. Sojourn, once again, jumping very aggressively, usually to their detriment. Chauncey stops spinning just to see if they can hit Shogun Misa. Shogun Misa does go down to the W. Sojourn E, Sojourn W, Sojourn Q. Sojourn gets booped in by Dead On. And we're getting a very aggressive ETC play, which isn't so much being supported by the team. I think I'd say the ETC, that Muradin, I should say. I think Muradin just needs to be a little more passive because that's the second time we've died now, jumping in and just not having that escape up. Nope. Can you stop dying in the middle of nowhere where I'm not putting my camera? Because I'm just like, yeah, let's look at the objective. Someone's dead up there. I was taking a drink. He's like, yeah, I'll die. Thanks, man. But no, you can see that the team of ICC TBD are actually getting through this building quite well. Nice jump by the Punisher. Actually, good spread right at the end there. Deadon was able to spread away from the team enough where they can get the jump. Nice stun by Sojourn onto Pentamachina. They can't quite get this building yet, but they don't need to. They can always just come back. There's literally a sliver left. You don't need to get too aggressive to get into it. That has 5 health. Like, literally anything is going to kill at that point. I've accidentally zoomed in. Thank God the building died at the time. But we see Hogger goes down to the Zarya top. Shogun Misa barely had any left. Shogun Misa was standing under the towers getting energy. That's how much energy? Yeah, they basically had 3 bars of energy by the time that Hogger died. Okay, one of you step on the camp. Good, 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 good. Let's go, ICC. I wouldn't say I'm biased. I think about it, but like, I'm part of ICC. I do play for ICC Crystal Gems. Let me rephrase. I sub for ICC Crystal Gems. I am around if need be. I can be around if need be, but I'm not often. Around is the thing. We have a root coming out onto Jaina above. The backflip is getting actually some double soak going. They are one of the ones that can do that quite well. Actually, they're taking a lot of damage being under those towers. Nice stun by Sojourn and Seralith with a follow-up. John Lott's being slowed down. Sojourn jumping aggressively. Dead on peeling for Shogun Misa. We do see Sojourn throwing out a hammer in frustration, but ultimately it will be fine. And that bottom neutral camp is up again. They're doing very well on this map. It does feel like ICC TBD has good map control. It feels like they're quite hard to deal with at present. It feels like they're very well versed on this map. Speaking of which, they are the first to 10s. So quickly having a look, we'd see Muradin completes the Stormbolt quest. Nice. That camp, unfortunately, is cleared out before the team can get up here to help push with it. But other things like we do have Shockwave from the Hogger. Water Elemental, some Water Elemental. Jaina, Rainer's Raider on the Rainer. Oh god. Avatar ETC. No, why do you keep saying ETC for Muradin? Avatar Uridin and the Blink Keel Brightwing. On the other hand, we do have Poison Nova on the Zul. I'm looking at the heroics. I'm like, I can remember what these are called without mousing over them line. We do have the Graviton Surge, Zarya, Starfall, Tyrande. Jesus, what am I doing today? Mosh ETC, and the Rain of Vengeance on Vala. I eventually remembered what things are. It just took a few moments, but I like that they're just taking time to clear the camps. Very much got a little bit of damage control coming on for the side of Banned for Throwing, which in all honesty is quite important in a lot of these situations. But meanwhile, this camp getting taken quite quickly for ICC TBD. And again, we're in an awkward situation for Banned for Throwing, where there is a camp pushing. They do have the offlaners in the offlane, or just doing their thing. And with those offlaners here, the wave clear once again goes over to ICC TBD. I know you have like a hyper carry Vala, but I don't know if W is necessarily a build you can hyper carry with. Nice fire at will, but no, Dead-On actually pushes everyone out of it with that W. I don't know if it just... No, they do have Mosh up still, so I was like, don't know what that was necessary for, but that is unfortunate for the team. If that was a very good Poison Nova, the teams are barely holding on. Valkyrie gets healed off in time, but no, we see Hippo is out of position. Chauncey does use his Shockwave and Q to make sure everyone lives. And all that Zul damage that came out was nullified. Everyone got to live, and we see two members down only. Dead-On did have slide up, was able to get out of danger. And all while this team is just here pushing, Hogger is working on the objective. Which honestly, I'd make the rest of your team go here and just get Hogger to double soak again. Just foot down, put your pedal on, foot on the pedal, full gas, let's go. But nope, they are going to play it safe. They're going to have all 5 members here. Hogger just going to do his spin thing. And he barely messed it up. I see just a brief touch on that wall. We see Vala wanting to step in. Penta Machina not getting too much off. They did get a decent amount of damage on Valkyrie, but nothing substantial. And that objective will be now going over to the side of ICC TBD. Which, hell yeah, ICC TBD does have that frozen punch. It's going to be a lot to deal with if you're banned for throwing, and you can't necessarily take a jump very easily, because you are now stuck in a rock and a hard place. Nice ice block, Jaina. Valkyrie gets sucked into it. Sojun very low throughout that, but Dead-On actually did pretty well. Only half health left on them, and the frozen punish is just doing its thing. Stun onto them. So Dead-On keeps stepping up and taking damage. Oh, there comes the punish to jump. Shogun and Misa actually taking a little bit more than they're expecting. That ice barrier now down. And we can see now the side of ICC TBD stepping in. Nice stun onto Seraph. The follow-up as well. Good Mosh. Freeman Mosh. And we do now see that this is what ICC TBD needed. Will Varistan be able to get out? Valkyrie needs to not be the one rooted. Sojun at least his jump. They do create some distance between them. And will be fine in the end. Now if you're banned for throwing, I think you just push this building and take it. You have the tools. You have all 5 members here. But there seems to be some indecision. We see Sojun backing out. But yep, they are now going to get their push on. Oh, jeez. Good jump by Sojun. Sojun actually can jump out of a Graviton unless they go the gravity kills. I think that's quite hard to. Sojun just running at people once again. I was like say, hope they have jump. They do, but they were interrupted by the W, and Valkyrie and Muradin go down for that one aggressive play. And that will definitely be this building gone now. Nice damage by Hippo, but they can't force anyone too far back. Well, the team were backing out anyway. They can't really get a kill off of that. And just with that, like, I was talking about how well ICC TBD were doing. But with that one fight, that one objective phase where they're able to get actually a few kills via Dead-On just doing pretty well in that tank position. They are back in this. It's basically even. In fact, they are ahead on experience now, which is the first time in a while, I'd have to say. First time since 10s at least, maybe even 7s. But this is a position that Banned for Throwing do actually want to be in. They're now in a position where they can get their big abilities. They do have a lot to deal with. The team has a lot to now deal with. ICC TBD, what may have been considering is a good win for them, is now in a much rougher spot. We can see this building's absolutely being burnt down. Stun coming out to Muradin, but now in an awkward position where Sojin jumps on front line, takes a lot of damage. Hippo barely getting out of that. Side coming in. Mosh coming out on just the Raynor, so Hippo XXX goes down. We do see Cyriliff trying to back out. We see Sojin in danger as well, getting stunned. No jump available. Shockwave doesn't quite find anything. Fred's the needle between Shogun meets in the back door. Meanwhile, we do see that Zul takes out the Muradin. Valkyrie barely getting out, 320 health. If they got hit by that W, they may have been dead. But no, we just see that it is a Zarya team. You can just keep pushing. That 75 spell armor doing a lot for Shogun Misa as they do back out. And our shrine is active. It is coming up top. We do see meanwhile that this Shaman camp has been pushing the whole time, which has been getting a decent amount of value as well. But no, we can see now that, yeah, objectives up, but Zul will probably hit to deal with this first, as there is a lot of unnecessary pressure that has been coming out. I don't know if Zarya need to come up, because that's now like, you're missing your Zarya, you go, but I guess Muradin's only respawning now. Hoka getting a spin on, he is at minus spell power, so wherever he hits while spinning will be weaker in general. He doesn't quite have the full infinite though, so that is unfortunate. Chauncey does back out. We see the back door is that full W build, so their auto attacks in these situations will be getting very quick very soon. And that is a excellent spot if you are the back door, the back flip. Right, Muradin getting tossed around once again, pops Avatar very low, does get stun off. We see a 2-for-1 now as the Zul and the Zarya down are going to be traded for the, well, that is a 4-for-1 now. Raynor getting cleaned up, nice shockwave by Chauncey. And, well, yeah, sure, you're able to get the Muradin. You weren't able to get anyone else in danger. Penta Machina stepping up. Valkyrie is in position to catch him out. A quick little polymorph. Jaina in the bush. And that is a dead Vala. So that is what was all of a sudden looks like a good turnaround for Banned for Throwing. Had turned into a 5-for-1 for the side of ICC TBD, so they are back in control. Experience still pretty even, but they are going to have to, they still have to do a little bit of work to get what they need done. Zarya and Zul is only just respawning now, it's same for Muradin, but there's still a good another few seconds before the rest of Banned for Throwing come back. I completely forgot, I was staring at them like, who are they again? Punisher getting a little bit aggressive in the building there. We do have it now at the gates, so that is a pretty free first building. Imagine we're going to see a lot of the gates go down. Jump coming out onto Zarya. Zarya full energy. Shockwave coming out, hitting just Zarya. Zarya pushed back by Chauncey. Chauncey needing to spin. Does get out of a Graviton Surge. Will be fine in the end. And we can see that it's pretty close to ICC TBD being at those 20s. Sojin very aggressive positioning, making sure no one steps on that camp. Yes, they have. So, yeah, we do see now all forts down for the side of Banned for Throwing. So, ICC TBD has a lot of room to work around with. And they still have their middle one up. So, they're good clicking, Lime. So, there will be a decent amount of pressure coming mid, as it is a Kata every third wave, compared to no waves for ICC TBD. For Banned for Throwing. We see ICC TBD jumping in, Shogun Misa taking a decent amount of damage. We see jumps once again coming up for Sojin. They did pick that rewind by the looks of things. Yes, they did. That didn't quite work out for them, so they are just going to have a soft reset. They're going to not fully commit to it. There's the jump, there's the root jump. Shogun Misa in danger, but that 75 spell armor did a lot to keep them up. It's not often you see that picked. You often see the unstoppable picked at 13, but Shogun Misa realizing actually the Jaina is doing a lot, they need to deal with it, and now we see the backdoor in the back line. A little bit too aggressive, was scattered by Sojin quite early. I'm going to close this as we've got a very spread out fight. Deadon was looking for the Mosh Sphere, wasn't able to quite find it, but in the meantime, Azul did drop the Poison over, and both teams are at 20. So talk about 20s, we do have that no control Hogger. We do have Blink Jaina, so not often you see that one, but I do like the pickup. For Raider upgrade, Duskwing. I see Dark. I was going to go Darkwing. I think I'm thinking like Darkwing Duck, which was like a show along a character. I think it's on DuckTales still, but it's like another one of those duck characters from the Looney Tunes type era. Other things we do have is that Rewind EC and Fairy Protectors on the... Oh, Sojin's getting aggressive, does jump in, doesn't quite find the stun, but we see Mosh come out. Polymorphed immediately by Cyril Hippo XC6, probably very thankful for that. We see no control pop by Hogger. Hogger is spinning around greatly. Shogun Misa needing to pop their shield. We see Sojin and Hogger actually relatively low. Hogger has to spin out. Sojin also needing to get face shift upon it does walk out as well. Hippo XXX low. Owl doesn't quite find its target. Chauncey will be fine. And that is a very... pretty even fight in all honesty. Actually, both teams got relatively low, but that little burst shielding that Shogun Misa is able to do thanks to Zarya. This is a lot to deal with, but no, it looks like we're going to get a re-engage now. Sojin goes in, we do see Hogger spin, and that is gravity kills, but meanwhile Chauncey is doing their best to interrupt everything. Dead on, didn't quite get a Mosh Sphere. We do see Camp Pod's taking in the meantime. Sojin goes down, we do see that as a stun coming out from the Tyrande, but that is a 2-for-1 now. ECC did die in the process. Is she? She is shooting star, so auto attacks will eventually shoot a E as well. I have to say, one of my favorite Tyrande games I've ever played was when we had 4 Tyrandes in ARAM. It was so fun just hearing all the stuns come out at 20, just because you hear do 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 do. As all those E's just like fall from the heavens thanks to the auto attacks and the use of the button as well. Interesting that we're getting both teams play relatively safe considering the objective is up. Especially because we do have... Oh, ICC... Not ICC TBD. Banned for Throwing has the advantage in this situation. They have some even pseudo front line of Zul relatively good at making sure that doesn't go down. But no, it looks like everyone's playing safe. And now Pentamachina is in danger. And they'll actually go down pretty quick. Teams are just greeding around the place. And, well, their greed doesn't quite pay off. I know in World of Warcraft, not World of Warcraft, but Warcraft 3, one of the cheats is greed is good, but that doesn't quite apply to this game here. But no, we see everyone except Vala is up now, and that makes it much harder. I need to close this because this is so spread out. That makes it much harder for the Zarya comp to do well. Banned for Throwing, we do see they lose Zul now immediately. Sojin goes down, doesn't quite find the hammer that time. But they're in a good spot. If you're an ICCBD, yeah, we could just be here. They didn't even have Brightwing with him. Brightwing was confident enough that they didn't have to phase shift up. And that kind of shows as the team did well throughout that objective. Now Seraph is stepping onto the objective to start it with Chauncey. Oh, my voice. Hogger has spun into nowhere. And Hogger is back. Meanwhile, with bottom, we do see that they are wanting at least a little bit of pressure bottom. I don't think they'll be able to stay long. They will need to defend. We see Jaina has backed up. They've all left Hogger just to do top, which, fair enough. Rooted under the fort. Shogun Misa actually takes a little bit of damage there, even through that spell armor, thanks to Seraph rooting them. But no, now we have a little pincer going on. Reina is going to be the latest, but no, we're in a spot where Shogun Misa was unable to mount. Shogun Misa may actually need to be the target, but no, we do see it is the Tyrande going down first. Shogun Misa the next one. A nice push by Deadon, pushing everyone in there. And that's actually Jaina going down. Valkyrie relatively low. Shogun Misa has so much energy that they were able to melt too because of that silence. There's no ice block available for Jaina. And now we see Deadon is in danger. No control? Yep, no control goes out now. Deadon just being hit by it slowly but surely. And the chase is on. Deadon trying the best. They do pop that Bolt of Storm Shield. But no, there's just a little bit too good a chase here from ICC TBD. All while Bunch has been pushing top. It did give a bit of a front gate, but it did get jumped properly, so it didn't quite get the full value they want. Meanwhile, bottom, we do now see Sojin, Hippo, and Chauncey pushing what they can. Hippo needs to not get rooted. Hippo is like the worst target to get rooted for ICC TBD, and we do see they back out without too much hassle. This is feeling quite back and forth. Like, there is really not much that... Like, this is really very much feeling like, oh, it can go either way still. Despite the structure difference that is between Band for Throwing and ICC TBD. It feels like that there's just, like, each team is one mistake off just losing at this point. Because that Graviton, just 2 down just like that, losing both your Brightwing and your Jaina in that situation is a lot to deal with. But we see Sojin gets aggressive. Not really much point doing that. They did pop Rewind as well there. Don't know if that was necessary. So that is one key tool that's... One big tool, I should say, that's missing from Sojin's kit now. You have 60 seconds if you're banned for throwing to go, okay, we saw the rewind animation. We could just run at the ICC TBD team as they are missing that button. And once again, we see ICC TBD just doing well to get camps and make sure they still have a macro pressure advantage coming up. But no, it doesn't look like they want to fight here. Shogun Misa pops his shield, but no energy off of that. But no, we're getting a lot of safe play still. I say that, but I see Sojin there. I'm like, he's about to jump in like any moment. Hammer didn't quite find anything. No rewind available, so they are just going to disengage. Reasonable. Owl didn't quite find its target, and now we have teams just moving on up. Valkyrie potentially saw the team. Oh, this is not a choke you want to be fighting in against Zarya. Yep, they do back out effectively. Zarya's Silence Graviton will actually be disaster if it sits here. But nice double stun by Chauncey, but we see the engage going down. That is ETC dead before too long. Sojin jumps out in time, popping that rewind, but they're taking so much damage. They do get a nice ground slam off, but weren't able to heal up enough. They aren't quite that healing static coming out. But that is a 4-man kill now for the team of ICC TBD. We see Valkyrie chasing down Penta Machina. Penta Machina going, please, God, not like this. Does get Polymorph Seraph on Mount Hippo below. We do now see Frostbolt come out, but no, this looks like it may be it for Penta Machina. And that may just be a call for, building here. We do see that is getting melted. Will the team also decide to end on core? They should. There's 5 members down. You have at least a Hogger with you. Hogger does need to step in first to tank it. What the hell is that? That's a big piece of thread. But nope, we do have that Inkle coming out from the team of ICC TBD. Slowly going down. Seraph and Hippo doing great work in core. Chauncey just also taking it. We do actually see the Seraph is saying it. Seraph stepped in first, but GG called as both teams played very well that map. And they did have a 25-minute. What the hell? That is a very long... Give me a moment. I'm going to jump on over to the game summary screen. I'm going to get rid of this piece of thread as I talk about stats, because apparently that's hanging off my shirt. It's massive. So, I do like both comps. I do like when Zarya comps come into play, because they are very different from what you see typically. I love the hypercarry style of gameplay, but I guess we've been seeing a lot more of that with double bruiser tank type frontlines as opposed to the Zarya. But Zarya can still get work done. There's kind of offlane builds you can run if you're Zarya. I don't know what they are, but Shogun Misa did very well in that, as we can see. They still had 70k damage. That was up there still. One thing to note, Zul and Hogger both did a lot of siege, 230 compared to 163, so Zul did actually do a little bit more siege. They did do a little bit more soak, but all in all, it's not too far off at that point, because Hogger doesn't do as well in structures, but Zul does. Damage, Vala did a lot, but you do have that hypercarry Vala, but even then, Reyna was only 10k behind her. That's not bad. In terms of healing, Valkyrie did excellent. Tyrande had a bit less, but Tyranda's also not the biggest healer, and Zarya did well. I do wonder if you go a different healer in that situation, like a more sustainy healer, you do very well, because Zarya is there for your burst. Tyrande isn't necessarily known for their sustain, but it may just be a preference of John Lotz, because Tyrande can do very well in a lot of situations. That looking at their talents, as the main thing to note, as I said before, the spell armor was picked up by spell shield was picked up by Zarya at level 13 instead of unstop. I do like the change here for the team. It actually meant that they could survive that little bit longer. Anything else that stands out to me? Not in particular. Echo Petal was always something interesting. It's something I used quite early on in my Heroes of the Storm Day. We're still playing on Australian servers. I know, right? Those servers exist still as the wild thing, but no, just find better games on this map. Oh, not this map, but on NA at least. As well as, it's interesting to see the Thunderburn with Bronzebeard Rage, as that is not typically the combo picked. You may see the Blue Lightning at 4 with Bronzebeard Rage at 13, or if you may see Healing Static at 13 if you see the double Thunder at Clap at 4, but it's up to them in the end. Was very aggressive Sojourn, but that does make sense with the heavy impact. But it did feel like for the first 6 levels they're playing, it felt like they thought they had heavy impact, but didn't. But right, I'm going to throw it over to the map view screen. I see TBD won that first map, so let's tick that. And what do we have in store next? We have a Tomb of the Spider Queen. Okay. I do like Tomb of the Spider Queen a lot. Well, actually, no, that's a lie. I hate Tomb of the Spider Queen. It is one of my worst maps. If you catch me on this map, something has gone very wrong, or I'm in Storm League and don't have a choice. Actually, if you see me playing the game in general, something's gone very wrong, but I do enjoy it still from time to time. So, we do have this map coming up, Tomb of the Spider Queen. I'm going to zoom in on my favorite bug if I remember to do so. Oh, it's already did. Whoops. So, there is a bug that usually spawns here. The other day, it actually spawned in the red color. I saw it spawn in the red color. I don't know what replay, but it spawned in the right spot to where it wasn't getting hit by tower, which was interesting to me. Anyway, on the right hand side, we do have Sojourn back on that Muradin, Hippo XXX on the Chromie, Valkyrie Dancing Dog, for Rhaegar. We see Cyrillith on the... Ooh, I do like a good Sylvanas gameplay, and Chauncey is on that Blaze, which Blaze is honestly one of my favorite offlanes currently. On the other hand, we do have Giacello on the Stukov, Peter Pacino on the May this time, did on the Imperius, John Lotz on Zul, Jin, and Shogun Misa is on Mephisto. I have actually seen Shogun Misa's Mephisto before. I do actually quite like it. It is quite effective. The main problem I see here is that ICC TBD have... Actually, neither team has particularly great wave clear now I look at it, which, honestly, maybe... Which at this point is not a detriment to either team. The camp clear also not great. I think I would have to say maybe ICC TBD has an easier time clearing, but they have also worse time going into the enemy team. Sojourn has been hit by a spear a few times now. We do see Imperius has gone % damage, so we do actually have to watch out. John Lotz taking a decent amount. Hippo XXX stepping up a lot as well, taking a decent cleave there, but not quite as much as John. Chromie is just firing out those hourglasses, as they are actually the Q build. It's not often we see Q quest picked up at level 1 anymore. More often than not, you'll see either the Falling Sands at level 1, or you will see the... What's the thing I'm looking for? Who is pinging me? Oh, that's not happening. Okay, but no, we are getting back into it, as we do have the teams clearing, playing effective, playing safe. May is actually the offlaner. I don't hate it into Blaze. I think maybe you'd be better with Imperius into them still, because May has a fun thing where she can just like throw a blizzard in this area and no one can get through that area if easily. You like slow down mounts, you slow down rotations, which on this map, slowing down the rotations is very effective. It is hard to deal with if you're just slowing down those teams effectively. Right, we do see now gems being picked up, fours being picked up, and we do see people coming down to stop Chauncey doing that bottom camp. And instead, they're going to do it themselves. Which, yeah, you can get bottom camp done, but you're also giving up a lot of pressure mid. This spell camp is doing a lot. Nice stun by Sojin, Valkyrie as well. I didn't see the purge. Maybe there's a layering of purge over top, but it didn't quite happen for them. But no, this bruiser camp can actually get decent amount of damage done. It's directly on the gate. Sojin in an awkward spot. John gets stunned. Didon doesn't find the spear, but that is still Shogun Misa taking more damage here. And now Blaze has to deal with this bottom camp. So it's stuck here for a little bit. Oh, Penta Machina does slide out. You can see that turn-in is close for ICC TBD. But that was because there was one full rotation for Band for Throwing where a few gems were missed. But not by much, however. It is very marginal how much of a difference there is. Quinn's coming out, Hippo XXX barely gets out. I think Stukov did go low blow at level 1, so that is something that could have killed there. Just looking at Quest's update, however, we do see Zul'jin at 6 stacks of the You Want Axe, as well as 27 stacks of Chromie's Shifting Sands. Once again, the first time. Sojin looking to step up into John's stuff. I was about to swear. I should swear less. I'm trying to swear less in general, as I'm really bad with swearing all the time. And I need to do better because every now and again I do visit my younger cousins, and their parents aren't happy with me when I swear around them, but we do actually see that Muradin goes down and Chromie is doing what damage they can. Valkyrie taking a decent amount of axe here. Did Shogun Misa go reckless? Yeah, Shogun Misa did go reckless at 1. But we do see that 1 kill, the 7s do come in a little bit earlier for Band for Throwing, which ideal for them, but we do now see that both teams do have their turn-in available. Nice stop onto Shogun Misa. Shogun Misa will eventually go back. Seralif dodging the spear up top. I'm going to zoom all the way out because there's just a lot happening around this top objective. And meanwhile, we do see bottom turn-in happening. Valkyrie is going to get that there. And we do see that means red web weavers will descend. Let's zoom back in. We do hear spear coming out. We do see Sojin in a little bit of bother. Not quite as much as Deadon. Deadon, they're going, wait a minute, don't like this. Did Deadon go? No, Deadon went W at level 7. Interesting. I thought maybe we'd see the... Oh, rewind coming out by the Chromie. That is not good if you're Shogun Misa. Didn't quite get the full combo that you see from Chromie, but Chromie is out of resources. I don't think they could have used the W, but that is Shogun Misa still in a danger in the middle of things. However, Sojin and Chauncey even lower. Shogun Misa gets to hold on. They got to live the Chromie combo, and they got to live the rewind. They got to live follow-up, and that is impressive in a lot of situations where if people know where you're going to be in a few seconds, they can hold their buttons. And just to live through that alone is ideal if you are banned for throwing. Right, turning over. Didn't get too much done. We see a little bit of that mid gate, most of the top gate, most of the mid gate, I should say. I haven't even looked at bottom because there's a team fight coming out. We see the rewind coming in. It feels like Chromie doesn't quite know the combo, but that's fine. Hippo is still alive anyway. We see Valkyrie get low, Seraph low, Hippo low. Like, everyone is low for the side of ICC TBD. We see May goes in to interrupt Muradin a little bit. But no, ultimately they'll be fine. We do see them backing up. Valkyrie wanted a half. Shogun Misa had other plans, and they will only just be able to half now after one rude Skelly boy does Lightning Nova up in your stuff. But right, we do see teams rotating down now. They want to get that camp leash bottom first, just to give it a little bit extra pressure. But I do like that on the other hand, ICC TBD are doing their own. And all the while, 10s are a little bit closer for Band for Throwing. In fact, we do see it pop through now. We see that Durance of Hate picked up by Mephisto. We do then see Flame Swipe Stukov, Taz Dingo on the Zul'jin, Icewall May, Imperius still thinking. Other side, we do have that Mind Control on, oh, Deadon has been found. Chauncey does stop it. Excellent. Oh, speaking of Mind Control, Shogun Misa does get Mind Control. There's a lot of gems being dropped. Dicello steps up to grab them. You see Deadon actually is the one who grabbed, no, Dicello did pick them up. Taz Dingo comes out, just a few health left, but Dicello goes down. There is the Taz Dingo, man. Dead on, gets stunned just before him get the gems. 54 gems, but only 5 health going to 0, and that is a lot of gems. Pinta Machina picks up 40. Ideal timing to get there right then. Sojin taking a lot, does need to pop the avatar form, but they do have Turner now, and they do have a lot of pressure mid. Pinta Machina is now the pinata, the proverbial pinata that can do a lot. Ice Wall off the back of Endurance, and actually Hippo didn't get hit by it, it only hit Valkyrie. Stun coming out, that is now Pinta Machina in danger, does use the Cryo Freeze to make sure they didn't get rewinded back in, and we see Imperius only now has just chosen Angelic Armament, so they're a little bit afraid of what can come. Spear coming out, hitting Chauncey on the head, dead on now, and the one in danger. They've been hit by every bit of CC under the sun, however that Silent Circle there by Dicello does so much to make sure that no one goes down. That silence onto 3-4 heroes does a lot to make sure nothing goes wrong. But we do see now that Blue Web Weavers are descending. May was able to sneak away for a little bit, well, for enough time where they're able to get 15 out of the 25 off of him. Chromie goes down first. We do see that the Durance of Hate was found onto Valkyrie. Valkyrie didn't quite get out of Stukov's E in time. They were so close to escaping, but didn't quite. And now we can see the evening of mid lane and potentially top and bot getting opened up as well. But no, it does look like that ICC TBD went, okay, that's yours. We don't care. There's not much we can do to stop that. We're going to go elsewhere, defend elsewhere. What, did you just like want to push mid in this situation? I don't know. But I guess you didn't have vision until now. See from here, you may want to swing back mid, but no. Sojin does jump out, will be fine. And Sojin this time has gone Reverberation. So I do wonder if that purple level 4 was the intended choice. Right, there's a lot of damage coming out, but we see Durance and Silence coming out. Means Shogun Misa gets to live longer than expected once again. Chauncey drops Bunker just as John Lotz finishes that auto attack quest, but will live more importantly. And that Web Weaver is down. Meanwhile, we do have mid and bot still getting pressure. Mid Web Weaver getting far more than I thought, so I was like, maybe we do see them push a bit, but no, that is there. More bottom. May did help get the bottom one, does back out now, ultimately is going to be fine. Do they take it down before? Yes. Oh, this 1-2 minions. 435 left, that's not much. I'm going to put that here because that's about to die. Which, skin of the teeth. Just barely holding on this building. But that does mean the catters won't keep coming in. Well, we can see that camp being picked up bottom. I'm checking on something in the background, because stuff is happening, and I do like when stuff happens. But we do see John Lotz and Co. is stepping up. The turn-in found by Sojin just before Deadon can get there and see what is happening. And Pinta Machina actually now in an awkward position. Actually, Sojin has decided I don't want to bother. Not my bag. Not my cup of tea, mate. We do see Stun getting hit. We do see Pinta Machina is taking a lot of damage, but it's only the Muradin found. No combo available. Seraph steps correct way. Doesn't quite get out. So saw the health go to 20, but one last auto attack before they can Haunting Wave out. We see now Shogun Misa and Co. stepping up. Deadon uses their Angelic Armaments. Doesn't quite find the damage onto anyone, but did at least get the full shield. Basically the full value out of shielding without it being popped. Which is not often you get that. It is a very fine line between too much and kind of almost a waste of that shield. But there's the Durant. Silence directs into Muradin. You see Muradin is unhappy with the situation. He's just kind of jittering on the spot. John Lotz now in danger. We do see a nice stun coming out. This is why Blaze is good. Is a Zul'jin stun for most of their cooldown. And we see Muradin just Goomba stomps him. That Mario hop directly on top. We see Shogun Misa next one actually in firing line. Sojin didn't quite find the hammer. It did go off up to the right where Shogun Misa went a little bit more to the left. So they did try to predict the step back, but didn't quite do it well enough. Now this top building is going to be one of firing line. Also mentioned that bottom Web Weaver went down barely before bottom building, but the minion wave there was just a bit too potent for it to do anything. And we see this top building being taken down now as well. And boss call coming out. They did give vision that they're doing it, but there's not really too much that Banned for Throwing can do to contest this currently, is ICC TBD does just have that little bit of that advantage. Who keeps pinging me and why? I am busy. Leave me be. Oh no, it's my teammates. Fair enough. I will give an exception for my teammates. They're nice. Right, we do see now they are stepping up with Boss. All the damage is up for Banned for Throwing, but they're just quite a bit spread out. We do see Stukov's getting here now. May was dealing with bottom and rotating up a little bit later, but both teams do have their 16, so I'm going to briefly pull up those talents, just so people can have a look. Here they are. They sure are talents. Interesting to see we Animosity. It's not one you see often, but we do see Dead On being in trouble, and actually Mind Control barely finding it, however, doesn't last quite long enough. Dead On able to use Angelic Armaments and will be alive still. All while Boss has been hitting that that keep. It looks like keep will be going down before too long. No, they don't actually get the last stun out. Shogun Mise, however, is the one in danger. Tries to be a little bit tricky. Didn't quite do it. Didn't quite time the recall, the ghost form correctly. And now we have 5 members on the doorstep of ICC TBD who are missing their Imperius, their main tank. They're missing their damage dealer of Mephisto. But will ICC TBD be able to find that last necessary pick and end? It looks like Mind Control coming out. It looks like Penta Machina barely will go down. Ancestral coming out. Chauncey will be back at full health essentially. But we're getting a lot of not a really commit here. Like, yeah, sure, if I can find something else. John nearly getting taken out. We can see that Sojin is taking the damage, and we're just taking a little bit too long to hit the score. Is Mephisto now up? Seralif and Chauncey in an awkward spot. Seralif ran down into where they shouldn't be. John Lott's going down next. Chauncey did drop that bunker to live a little bit longer. That flavor swipe between Valkyrie and Sojin gets to live where they probably shouldn't have. And they do get to back out alive. They did lose one of the process of Sylvanas, but considering that was kind of a flop of an end, that could have gone far worse. Right, we're still in a position where Banned for Throwing can get a lot done. So I'm stretching, I moved away from my mic. Both teams not quite at their turn-ins. They're getting close, but not quite there. We do see bottom camp being ran at by Banned for Throwing. We see that mid-safe Bruiser being ran at by, oh never mind, Muradin decides to go elsewhere as they just wanted to get all those gems, all that soak. Which, fair enough. They do be gems. The simple life of a Muradin. Just farming. Having a good time of his life. He's gonna clear the camp. Oh, he's changed mind. He's going back. He's thinking about a globe. Right, we have a fight going on. We do now see Chauncey getting the stun onto Dead On. Dead On getting mind controlled will go down. Meanwhile, John Lotz got hit with a decent amount of damage here, but will ultimately be fine. Silence under the Durance. That is a lot of damage. Red Web Weavers are coming out at the time. Muradin did turn in underneath everyone. Penta Machina drops down. We do see a nice double stun by Chauncey coming out. Shogun Mise and Daicello in an awkward situation. Daicello does need to use those flailing swipes. Seralif falling short. I imagine we're going to see a rewind in a few moments, but nope. There's Daicello going down. That is a Mephisto going down next. John Lotz is the next one in the firing line. But if you are, as I say, if you are ICC TBD, I imagine you just go top and end that way. Seralif being a little bit lazy, uses a Haunting Wave to get to that position where they can actually clear. All while actually Web Weaver is unfortunately dropped down back. So they don't quite have that for a little bit, but they can at least start softening the shield. Zul'jin is about to go. Nice ice wall actually by May. Here comes the Tazdingo, but they are still very low coming out of this. They do survive. They did step far enough away where they won't be going down. Actually, the Shadow Dagger from the building, the bounce off a Shadow Dagger from the building meant that Sylvanas went down, and that is Dead On and Penta Machina very low. Oh no, Mind Control finds Dead On, and that may be the end that they need. They finally got enough kills together to get pressure on. Web Weaver's only just getting the call now. That is a full wave. That's a Web Weaver. The gates have closed. And that is the series going over to ICC TBD. Well played, both sides. GG's are called. Right, let me jump on over to the game summary screen. Tizets. Mephisto and Blaze doing the most siege for their teams respectively. which May and Imperius are not known for their clearing potential even at the best of times. But May was more kind of a counter clear, like make sure Blaze couldn't do anything check type thing. And Imperius was running kind of a more tanky build with that percent damage. Imperius did do a reasonable amount. We can see that Zul'jin did a lot of damage, very good at that. But Chromie did the most by a good 60k. Chromie did excellent that series. But that map, I should say. But Chromie is one of those heroes that can just blow people up for no reason sometimes. And that we do see healing. Rhaegar did edge out Dicello this time. That Rhaegar just does have good burst, while Stukov does struggle a little, but Stukov did go vigorous reuptake. That's something pretty good for these situations. That we do see full sand build Chromie. Oh, not often you do see it, but it did work out for Hippo quite well. Right, I'm going to change it over to the games draft map view screen. So as we saw, it was a 2-0 over to the side of ICC TBD. So I guess that was a very good series of both teams. ICC TBD did definitely look stronger on that first map. That second, well, in saying that, I should say the early game looked stronger on the first map, but that mid to late game ban for throwing very much looks like they could come back. Meanwhile, that second map, much more even throughout, but then eventually ICC TBD found their footing and were able to keep going. So what we're going to do, I guess we're looking at casting another series, aren't we? What do we want, chat? Is there any games that people know happened that they enjoy that hasn't been casted? When did these happen during weekday? What do we want? Let's do cool Cats and Kittens vs. Game of Thrones, eh? I don't think they're on my blacklist. Yeah, let's do it in about 5 minutes. 10:30 start, yeah. I'll take a quick break in between. Fill up my water bottle, get ready for the next. One quick claim, and we want to download those match files, so let me open things up. That's right, I'm going to go on a quick break. I will be back soon, so I'll catch you guys in just a few moments. I'm going to put on music, put on the map view, out the end screen. Well, I think the end screen is all I have, which is just a thank you for watching, but I will be back. Just don't go anywhere, as I'll see you all shortly.